All right, where do we begin? When I had first moved to Finland, I was really eager to learn Finnish and to just speak Finnish in every occasion that I could. And I remember this one time when I was living with my friends Make and Heidi. We went to Make's grandmother's house to visit, and Heidi was in the kitchen. She was making us making everybody lunch, and then Make and I were in the living room. Make was doing something on his computer, I think, and so that kind of left me with the grandmother alone. And so I just kind of decided I'll do my best to, speak Finnish with her. And so I started just talking, moi, mitä kuuluu, hi, how are you? And so she was asking me questions about my life and why I'm in Finland and why I'm living with her grandson. And so if there was something I didn't quite understand, Heidi could hear from the kitchen, and she would kind of shout, like if I didn't understand what she had said, she would translate. And every now and again she would help me out. And I got into this situation where I started talking about my family, and she was asking about my family back home, and I was trying to tell her that that I had 3 sisters and that they're all adopted. And the only way I could think to say that is to say that they're from different families. And so I tried to say he ovat eri perheestä, they are from different families. But it came out he ovat eri perseestä, which basically means they are from different asses. And that was probably the most embarrassing moment of trying to speak Finnish for me ever. But I think coming to Finland as an immigrant, I really felt this responsibility that it was important for me to respect the culture that I'm coming into, and doing that would mean to try to learn the language. Being an immigrant, I have to say I've never really received, any racism being a minority here. Maybe a few small incidences, where the landlord wouldn't rent to me because I was a foreigner. And there was actually, when I put out the last video of, or the very first video that was entitled Finland Was My American Dream, somebody had commented, you can even go look and read this because I left all those comments there. Somebody had commented something to the effect of, you are the type of immigrant we want. And as nice of a comment that was for me, I think it's really something that I would like to address, because I feel like whether somebody's coming here for because they want to, like I did, or because they're just a refugee trying to escape whatever horrible things are going on in their home country. These are people, and their cultures are different, and maybe they don't kind of act the same way that we do, or maybe they don't have the same respect for other cultures that we do. But that being said, I think that we all as immigrants have a huge responsibility to, when it's like being a guest in someone's home. When you come over to someone's house and you follow their culture, if they take their shoes off, you take your shoes off when you go in their home. If they, you don't sit down at their table to eat unless they invite you to. And it's kind of the same thing with being an immigrant. I see it as being that when you come into a host country, this country is giving you a home. Like, you should behave a certain way. You should respect the home culture and what how people live here. And I think that people who disregard that are the reason that many people don't like immigration. It's if people are not behaving when they come. I think the Finns are very self-aware, and being self-aware brings this humility. And maybe Finns are humble, I would say. And the definition of humility is not to be lower or to be under or to diminish your self-worth, but it's to understand your place in relation to everything else, in the people around you. And that means not being above anyone, not being below anyone, but kind of fitting, understanding where you fit. And I think that's very true of Finns, that they understand where they fit, and they don't think too highly of themselves, but they don't think, that they're nothing either. I think that that's something that I also really appreciate in comparison to America versus Finland. And I think that in the American mentality, it's a good thing that the American mentality is let's dream big and let's go as far as we can and let's take risks and let's innovate and go forward, and I have all these possibilities. But I appreciate the Finnish culture that kind of says, I have possibilities, but the probability, these are the statistics, that maybe I could be rich, but I probably won't, based on the statistics of the society. And I think that that's something that is kind of in American culture, is that everyone believes that they're going to be rich one day, and they're striving for that. And that's the goal. It's like everybody's waiting for their big break. And I think that the Finns have been, they're just realistic. And in general, I think that kind of the Finnish culture is very focused on society, on the good of everyone. We're all a team, we're all in this together, and this is the direction we're going. And kind of, in America, if you find a loophole to pay less taxes, even though it's legal, but it's technically, not the way to do things, then you're smart. You found a loophole. You know how to, bypass the system. Yeah, that's pretty slick. But in Finland, that's seen as shameful, because basically by doing that, you are robbing the rest of us a little bit of what we're all trying to accomplish. And we're all trying to have a society where everybody does their part and everybody helps society move forward and progress. And that's why universal healthcare works. It's because nobody takes advantage of it, or not many take advantage of it. And that's why universal salary might one day work, as if nobody, takes advantage of it and tries to cheat the system. And I think what we're dealing with here is that people are asking, why can't we just have universal health care in America? And I think people will abuse the system, and you can't introduce something system-wide like this and change the mindset of the people at the same time. You'd have to do that at the same time, and that would take changing the mindset of the people to accept and not abuse a system like universal health care. It would take generations, because America's so big. And so kind of, that's not because anybody's done anything wrong there, but it's just the way, it is what it is. And in Finland is a small country. Changes can be made across the board much quicker. It's very agile. And at the same time, everybody is on the understanding that we're going to do good, and we're not going to cheat the systems, because when we cheat the systems, they don't work for us anymore. I have friends that often in Finland here, they dream about living abroad, and they talk about, oh yeah, I could actually go and live in Spain for a while and then come back, or I could live in France or Belgium or you know, that would be so great. And I think too, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I could live abroad. That would be nice. And then it occurs to me, oh yeah, I am living abroad. This is my adventure because now I've been here for 15 years and it's like, you know, it's routine. This is home. It's how it is. I used to have these moments all the time when I would be walking through the streets and I would just be like, I live in Finland. And, you know, it would happen regularly. It would happen in the beginning every day, many times a day. And then, you know, it was once a week and once a month. And now it's maybe once a year that I have one of those moments where I just stop and go, huh, Finland. And I really got lucky by moving to Finland, because actually, you know, I didn't really choose. I didn't sit down and read and go, which country is the happiest in the world? Which country has universal health care? I just kind of, you know, I had a friend here and I moved. And then I ended up being super lucky that this country ended up being so great. I just made a rash decision and ended up living in one of the most wonderful countries in the world, a country with a social system that is just amazing, has been on happiest people in the world list many times, a place with, you know, wonderful nature, wonderful people, a beautiful city such as Helsinki. How did I get so lucky?